So 2,000 penguins in 50 minutes come in from the sea and make their home up on the just where the boardwalks are.
How many in total are there in the park?
We managed about 20.
Made it to our campsite on Mornington Peninsula, and in the background you can see Melbourne. Hi guys, I'm Izzy.
And I'm Jake.
And last year we quit our jobs in England and booked a one-way flight to start backpacking around the world. We spent the first 7 months of our journey backpacking around Asia, and then in January this year we booked a flight to Sydney, Australia. We've been making videos and documenting our journey every step of the way, so if you'd like to join us, please subscribe and enjoy today's video. Good morning everybody, welcome to Van Life Day 11. Today we are currently at... because Mum arrived 3 days early, but this is Van Life Day 11 because we've had the van for 11 days. We are on Phillip Island today. I was just looking at some of the videos from earlier in the week, and if you watch like every single intro from the past week, you'll see more and more layers being added to me and Mum as you go along. If you compare it to the day we picked up the van compared to now, it looks very funny. But yeah, we're officially in Phillip Island today.
Can I just add to Isabel's note there? I've put a note on my Facebook post today. The reason why we download all the photos like we do is so that, one, for storage on our phones, two, they're out there so when we get home we can download them and take them off. So I'm not apologising for the spam because it's my Facebook. If you don't like it, don't look at it. But obviously we've got intermittent Wi-Fi as well, so hence why some days we're very quiet. So for people back at home, love you loads, but the reality is that we don't have Wi-Fi every day. So that's what we've got to be careful of. But you need to plan your journey to Australia because the states are very different. There are six states. Sydney is in New South Wales. We are currently in the state of Victoria. Victoria is very much like England. Thankfully though, no frost, but it is cold, it is wet, and you have to plan and prep for everything. So as I've said today on my Facebook post, small campers like we have are absolutely brilliant for dry, sunny weather. You can have awnings, you can do everything brilliant. We don't really do that because we're moving day on day to explore everywhere. So over the next 7 days, I think we've got 6 nights camping now left. We've got 894 kilometres to go before we drop Galileo back off. But it is a challenge because you can't afford to get anything wet because you can't dry it because we are moving every day. So basically we camp at night, we move on the next day to the next destination, covering ground in between. So it's not a camp where we can set up everything, put all the awning up, do whatever, because we're not staying more than one night. And obviously now the weather, we've got to check the weather because we can't afford to get anything wet. So we can't leave tables and chairs up because it means the van's then damp, it doesn't dry out. So yeah, you've got to be really mindful of that. If I was doing this again, I wouldn't choose a small camper. I'd choose a camper not too big, one which I could sit up in, that had a bed maybe already made at the back, and we had a seating facility, just that little tiny bit bigger. But then it would be a challenge to do some of the roads that Isabel and I have done, even though we've read today the terms and conditions mean that we shouldn't be doing off-roading and going through the bush.
Anything. We have not done any dirt road space shifts, if you're watching.
As far as we're concerned, they were national park roads that were being resurfaced due to bushfire, which is no word of a lie, they were, but they weren't tarmac roads.
Allegedly, spaceships don't sue us or charge us. But yeah, our final campsite today is in Mornington Peninsula, which is a little under 2 hours away. But Phillip Island was so amazing. I didn't include it in our last video, which was us arriving to Phillip Island, but we spent the evening yesterday watching wild penguins coming from the sea.
We were so lucky. We said because they were coming in at dusk that I'd read before I arrived, and that we need to do the penguin parade. We got right to the end of the Headland Peninsula, which was incredible, and it had a big centre there which was closed by the time I got there because obviously it was early evening. I said to us, well, we need to do this tonight because obviously we won't be here tomorrow. Got all the way there, had to walk around these massive boardwalk. It was absolutely freezing. It felt like -6. That's how cold it was, with the sea and the wind battering at us, but it was dry. And then coming back, we saw this like what looked like an arena parking saying penguin parade opening at 4, and I thought, and Isabel went, I think that's it, you know, Mum. Thankfully we turned back and we went to park because it was brilliant. It was like arena parking. There was thousands of people there, but it wasn't a wildlife park. I've got to stress this. This was a natural sight to see but they had a platform where you could sit in the dark with no cameras allowed, no flashing allowed, no flashing allowed, I hope not, no flashing allowed, no cameras with flash, and they had dimmed lights so the penguins couldn't see and be deterred from coming out of the ocean. And watching these tiny little penguins, absolutely incredible, being battered by the strong ocean, being brought in with the tide and waddling all the way up to the sand dunes into the little burrows and listening to them, and then for breeding, and some of them had got chicks, and having spent 48 hours in the ocean. Well, I'll tell you what, total respect for them little guys. Incredible, just incredible, weren't they, Isabel?
Yeah, so it's basically kind of like a big beach, and up where the penguins had naturally come in and burrowed in up at the top, they've kind of built like a boardwalk along there, and then like kind of viewing seats for people to sit on to watch them come in from the sea. And in the 50 minutes that it takes for them all to come in from the ocean, about 2,000 penguins come in. So 2,000 penguins in 50 minutes come in from the sea and make their home up on the just where the boardwalks are, and it was so cute to see on like our walk back. They were all like waddling along, and it is a shame when you are told so many times not to use your phone and use your flash, because they don't like the light. So if too many people have their phone torches out, it can scare them, and it could stop them actually from coming back to the beach, because they don't think it's as dark there, and they obviously use the darkness to hide from predators. So it is a real shame. If you do decide to go, please just be respectful. It's really not hard to just not film anything.
Absolutely. And you know, honestly, they do it for a reason. This is not a wildlife park, it's not a zoo, it's a conservation area where they are looking out for this natural occurrence of these little tiny guys coming in from the ocean. And it is, like Isabel said, so disrespectful for people that are just taking photographs, because you can go into the shop, they have got pictures of them that are absolutely brilliant, and I mean brilliant, they really are great.
For free. They said when they were doing a talk before the penguins came in, that if you want to use the QR code, you can download all the photos they take completely for free and pretend you took them yourself, but that they do not want anybody using the torch to protect the wildlife. And the fact that people still do it is still just, I think it's so rude in my opinion. They even played like the talks in different languages, so that literally nobody had an excuse to not do it. No. So the people that were just being completely disrespectful. But it was $36 each to see.
No, it was $64, which was £32, so
32.
£16 to see. It was worth
For
every
both of us,
penny.
So,
no, £16 each.
Yeah, so 32 each. $32 each.
Yes, sorry, I'm thinking in pounds, sorry, yeah. But honestly, it was so worth it. And of course that goes into the conservation, not only obviously the toilet facilities, the boardwalk facilities, making these little burrows stronger for the penguins. It was just incredible. You know, I've got to say, it was really well done. They were explaining a bit about how they monitor them. Over 2,557 penguins they've monitored already coming into shore there.
Per night. Not all together, per night.
And you're only allowed to see it. Your entry starts at 4 o'clock. You're really out of there by 9 o'clock. And we saw a possum.
Yeah.
Okay, darlings, we've seen a possum.
But
How
we'll see
gorgeous!
you along the way. Under a tree because it's raining on and off. But we've just seen so many koalas in this conservation reserve. They're so cute and they're so close, and if you're so quiet and just slowly move past them, they just don't move and they just sit and look at you.
And they poop even while they're sleeping. 350 minimum pellets in 24 hours. We've been looking around as we've been going around different places for different pooping stools, which I was taught out in South Africa about ranger and tracking. And yeah, obviously treads and things like that in mud and sand and tracks, but the poop is a really good indication about what wildlife there is. And there goes the lorikeets, not happy at all, and a garra, I think it's called, a garra. And there's a cockatiel. It's like walking. Cockatoo, sorry, it's a lorikeet, sorry. Beautiful, beautiful birds. It's like walking to my dad's old aviary. But they are our warning for rain, so when they get quiet we move, when they get noisy we hide under trees.
It is amazing them seeing like this, but we also do feel very lucky that we did manage to see some in the complete wild. Was it 2 days ago now?
Yeah, a creek in...
Double Creek in Malakuta,
yeah.
And that was so amazing, but obviously you can't get as amazing photos in the wild unless you happen to be really lucky and they get that close to you.
Yeah, and speaking to a conservationist here, he said we are really, really, really lucky to see them in the wild because they just are so camouflaged. Like a lot of the wildlife have to be to protect themselves, but just incredible. But it's really weird because I feel like I'm actually walking around with an adult koala bear because she's got this koala coat on.
I feel at home with my people. Our campsite on Mornington Peninsula, and in the background you can see Melbourne all the way over there. Yeah, and that little the gap bit is like in the corner. Good morning everybody, we hope you enjoyed van life day 11 and are making our way to, where are we? Making our way to Mornington Peninsula. We had such a nice time on Phillip Island yesterday, and yeah, if you liked the video please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye! Good morning everybody, welcome to van life day 11. No? She's strapped in.
sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry soul of the bush is he. Laugh, kookaburra, laugh, kookaburra.
She's looking for shells.